This notion that you have to memorize all these verbs and all these conjugations is actually completely false. 3 months. That's all it took me to go from barely speaking Spanish to real conversations with natives. And I did the whole thing from my bedroom. No apps, no trip to Spain, just 4 steps done in the right order.
Podré para mejorar mi español cuando no tengo mucho tiempo libre para estudiar español.
Soy Hamid, hablo 4 idiomas y aprendí español 4 veces más rápido que el estudiante medio en solo 120 horas. So it all started when I was around 12, 13 years old. And what had happened was, there's this guy in my class who had started doing Duolingo, and his Spanish started getting better. In 6th grade in Sweden, if you don't know, I was born and raised in Sweden. And in Sweden, you get to choose a 3rd language. You get to choose either usually Spanish, French, or German. And so I chose Spanish. And this guy in my class, I think this was around the 7th grade, he had started using Duolingo, and his Spanish started getting better than everyone else. And not anywhere close to fluent, but he had the best grade in our Spanish class because he knew some random words, basically, from Duolingo. And so that sort of motivated me to also start doing Duolingo and all these other apps. I tried a bunch of different apps like Babbel, Pimsleur, Memrise, Duolingo, and none of them really actually made me any progress. After weeks of doing that, I still couldn't form a single sentence because all I was doing was practicing pressing a button on a screen. I wasn't actually practicing any real Spanish, any logic, nor was I doing any speaking. You learn 500 words, but you don't actually learn them because you're not actually using them in sentences. You don't even remember them because all you're doing is dragging them on in like these little boxes, right? I made no progress to that. And that was until I discovered an app called Language Transfer. Changed everything for me because it showed me that Spanish operates on logic. It's not just like words that they have to memorize. And that leads me to the first step, which was to learn grammar as logic, not as tables. Because this notion that you have to like memorize all these verbs and all these conjugations is actually completely false. It doesn't actually work like that. The way I like to think of grammar is that there's 3 W's. There's what, where, and why. Meaning you have what the words are, you have where the words are placed, but then there's also why it's like that. And most methods of learning, the traditional way of learning in school and Duolingo and stuff, they just teach you the first 2 W's. They just teach you the what and the where. They just tell you, okay, if the word is me and the word is llamo, and the me will come first, then it will be llamo. So it's me llamo or me amo, and then your name. But they don't teach you any reason why that is. They don't teach you any logic behind how we got to llamo, why the me is first, why it even uses me llamo instead of my name is, mi nombre es. It doesn't teach any of that. What taught me grammar and internalized the Spanish logic in me wasn't memorizing any tables. It was learning all 3 W's. It was learning what the words are and where they're placed, but more importantly, why it's like that. The logic, the reason, the blueprint behind it, and why the me is placed before the llamo. Right? Because there's actual reason there, okay? There's literal rules. There are literally like patterns that will always happen in Spanish. And so it's like words that end in shun in English will come sion in Spanish. And those rules, called cognates, will give you 3,000 or more Spanish words, just like that. But they don't teach you that. Or for example, irregular verbs. Even irregular verbs have patterns in them. And so just memorizing the what and the where is not how I approached it. What I did was learning all 3. It was understanding the why, okay? And so language transfer did that pretty well, but it's also just like a mental reframe of like thinking about, okay, what is the logic here? Asking that question, why did this happen? Okay. And nowadays you can find that out even with using AI. And so that's the first thing. And by the way, if you're just getting started, I highly recommend joining the Speedy Spanish Hub. It's a free community I created with a bunch of free resources and guides to help you start learning Spanish with these methods. And it'll be the first link in the description. Now, after I'd gone through grammar, I basically had the logic of how Spanish worked. I knew exactly how to take, for example, a verb and put it into any tense ever. I was able to basically create any sentence that I wanted, given the fact that I know the vocabulary. And so that leads me to the second step, which was learning Spanish vocabulary. And I would attribute most of my fluency to this step. Step 2 is understanding real Spanish. And I do this for an exercise I like to call transcript training. After going through grammar, I had this sort of like logic, the sort of like approach to Spanish. Because I knew how sentences worked and like the structure of how they function, I had the blueprint. Now all I needed were the actual bricks, okay? All I needed to do was to practice the 2 parts of fluency. And so the way I define fluency is conversations, okay? Because fundamentally, if someone's able to write a message in Spanish, I don't think people would consider that fluent, right? Fluency is like you meet someone who speaks Spanish and then you can just bust out a conversation with them instantly. So fluency was never about reading or writing. It was always about conversations, which is why I define fluency as conversations. Then fluency can be simplified into the skills of a conversation. And the skills of a conversation are simply 2 things: speaking and understanding. And when I say understanding, I mean understanding spoken Spanish. So all you have to do is speak Spanish and understand real spoken Spanish, meaning native Spanish, because you want to be able to have a conversation with a native. So now for understanding spoken Spanish and learning new words, I did an exercise I like to call transcript training. And the way this worked was I would pick out real native Spanish content because that's what I wanted to understand. And I'd pick out real Spanish content because firstly, everyone I saw online who got fluent very fast, they always used real Spanish content or they spoke to real natives. They never used these flashcard decks. It just makes more sense because when you study words when they're said in real Spanish content, you're learning them in context because certain words will mean different things in different contexts. And so when you watch real native Spanish content, not only do you learn the words, but you learn the words in context, okay? And the reason why I choose native Spanish content that's really hard to understand is because the words that we want to understand are how words are said by natives. And natives speak very fast with accents, they use slang. And so content that includes that is what I wanted to learn, right? And so after picking out native Spanish content with accurate subtitles, the framework would follow 3 steps, okay? Step 1 is listen. So I'd listen to the content until I didn't understand something, which was usually the first second. And then the second step is understand, meaning I would use tools like DeepL, SpanishDict.com, and then also my previous grammar knowledge of understanding grammar for the 3 W's in order to understand what the native said. Once I've understood it, I would go to the third step, which is repeating, where I would go back to before the sentence was said in the content and then listen to it again and to see if I understand it. And this time I would understand it. And then I'll just repeat that whole cycle of learn, right? Listen, understand, and repeat. And so in the summer of 2022, I did this for about like an hour a day, which is what I told all my friends that I would do as a commitment. About 45 minutes, 50 minutes to an hour of it, the entirety of it basically, was this. And the reason why I put this before speaking is because understanding Spanish is usually harder than speaking it. And also because it taught me new words, which I could then use when I speak Spanish. And so it sort of hits 2 birds with 1 stone in that way. Step 3, learning to actually speak Spanish. So now that I've understood the logic of Spanish and I'm learning new vocabulary, the final step I took was to actually practice speaking Spanish. And so the sort of framework works the same as transcript training in that whenever I don't know how to say something, I learn it and then I repeat. Except instead of listening, this time I'm going to practice speaking. And so this follows a pattern of speak, understand, and repeat, right? It's called the SIR ladder, right? Speak, understand, repeat. And so for speaking, the framework behind how I'd speak, I call it narrate, elaborate, contemplate. So what I'd do is I would narrate something, okay, just out loud, speaking Spanish, right? So I would narrate, for example, today I'm doing this or whatever, right? I'd elaborate, meaning I'd give more details on it, okay? And then finally, I'd contemplate, I'd question sort of why I'm doing that thing, for example, right? So narration could be, what you're doing right now. It could be an opinion. It could be a report, anything like that, okay? And then when I didn't know how to say something in Spanish, I would go to the next step, which is understanding. And I'd use the same tools as I did for transcript training, meaning I would use translators like DeepL and SpanishDict.com to learn the irregular conjugation patterns. And then finally, once I knew how to say it, I would then go back to the first step, which was saying it, okay? And so what this looked like is I would try to say, I'm eating a banana, okay? Not know the word for bananas. And then once I knew it, I would say the whole sentence. I would say, estoy comiendo un plátano, for example. And so that's how it would go. After doing those 2 exercises for about an hour a day, around August of 2022, so nearing the end of the summer, I went on an app called Hello Talk, which is like this language exchange app. And I was able to talk to people and actually practice my speaking abilities. And that's how I get to step 4, which is real conversations. Practicing real conversations. And the way I do that is speaking to real natives. And so everything prior to that had prepared me for the conversation with a native, because the only things I did were literally just conversations with natives. And so because I've isolated that sort of skill set and only focused on that skill set, my ability in that skill set was quite above average in that I was able to actually have conversations naturally, even after just 3 months of study. Granted, I did start at 6 months prior, but I was doing 1 lesson a day through language transfer. The real consistent studying started actual summer of 2022. After going through these 4 steps, I was finally able to have an hour-long conversation with a native in Spanish, fully in Spanish. And even though it wasn't perfect, I obviously made mistakes. My Spanish was not like perfect at all, and it still isn't, but it was conversational. And it really came from prioritizing that skill, okay? Because here's the thing, okay? Anything can work. It's true that you can read and you can write and you can do Duolingo, but just because it can help doesn't mean it's effective. Sometimes that lemon isn't worth the squeeze, and in this case, it's not. I'll give you a practical example, okay? Squats train the abs. They do. Ask any like personal trainer, they do. Okay, anatomically, your squats will train abs, okay, because your abs, they stabilize the body. So when you do a squat, you are training your abs. But if your goal was to only train the abs, you only cared about abs, would you rather do squats or crunches? Well, you do crunches because even though they both train the abs, one of them is far more effective because they fully target and isolate the one thing that we want. The same thing applies with Spanish, okay? If your goal is fluency and you define fluency like how I did, which was having conversations, then the only thing that matters is that skill set. It's speaking and understanding, nothing else, even if everything else can help. Because can help isn't good enough because everything can help. Duolingo can get you fluent. It's just the difference is if you did Duolingo versus if you did these steps, one of them would get you fluent in 2,000 days. I'm not even lying. I remember seeing a video of someone having a 2,000 day Duolingo streak to get conversational, literally, okay? Or it can take you a few months. Now, I'm not saying you're going to get fluent in the same amount of time as me, since I already spoke 3 languages prior. But for example, I had a client named Eddie who also went through these steps, and he got fluent in about 4 months, 5 months after starting with this method. And so like, it's not about talent, being like a prodigy, okay? It's simply just about where you allocate your time and effort. Because we all have 24 hours a day and we all have probably the same IQ level, okay? And so really the people that make progress aren't the people who are just naturally like that or that they were lucky. It's usually that they just allocated their time and effort better than you did. That's why this works, okay? It's because memorizing every single Asian word isn't as high leverage as just learning the logic that words that end in sion will become asion, for example. Or learning words in context with native accents, with speed, so that when you're in conversation, when people use those, you'll be ready, right? Instead of studying a flashcard deck that doesn't train any of the skills for fluency or for conversations, right? So this isn't like a new discovery. This is not that. It's literally just a reallocation of resources. It's just about reallocating your resources, time, and effort into stuff that actually has higher ROI, meaning higher leverage. It gives you more for what you put in. And for me and how I define fluency as conversations, this gave me exactly what I wanted. And so if you want the same as me, which is conversational fluency, then I also highly recommend you do what I did. These 4 steps, I'll have them on screen right now. That's exactly what I did. So yeah, that's how I got fluent in Spanish without traveling. And if you're serious about learning Spanish and you want help from me, then you check the second link in the description. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed and stay humble.